The Dog in the Manger. Once upon a time, in a quiet countryside farm, there lived a dog who was known for being fiercely territorial. The dog was not a bad creature at heart, but he had developed a peculiar habit of guarding things that didn't belong to him, even if he had no use for them. One sunny afternoon, the dog wandered into the barn, looking for a cool spot to rest. Inside, he spotted a manger filled with fresh, fragrant hay that the farmer had placed for the cows and horses. The dog, feeling lazy and seeking a shaded spot away from the heat, jumped into the manger and settled down on the soft hay. As the dog lay there, he found the hay surprisingly comfortable. He stretched out his legs and let out a sigh of contentment, feeling quite pleased with himself. The barn was quiet, and the dog dozed off for a while, enjoying the cool breeze that wafted through the open door. Later that evening, the cows and horses returned to the barn after a long day of grazing and working in the fields. They were hungry and eager to eat the fresh hay in the manger. But as they approached, the dog sprang to his feet, barking loudly and baring his teeth. The startled animals stopped in their tracks. "What's wrong with you?" asked one of the cows. "That hay is for us to eat. You don't even eat hay. Why are you guarding it?" The dog growled, his sharp teeth glinting in the dim light. "Stay back. This hay is mine now. I'm not sharing it with anyone." The horses, puzzled by the dog's behavior, tried to reason with him. "You can't eat the hay. It's useless to you. Let us have it so we can satisfy our hunger after a hard day's work." But the dog was stubborn. He barked louder, refusing to move from the manger. The poor cows and horses were left standing there, frustrated and hungry. They couldn't understand why the dog, who had no need for the hay, would act so selfishly. As the commotion grew, the farmer walked into the barn to see what was happening. He saw the dog snarling at the cows and horses, preventing them from eating the hay. The farmer frowned and shook his head in disappointment. "Dog," the farmer said sternly, "what you're doing is not right. You don't eat hay, yet you're keeping it from those who need it. This is both selfish and foolish." The dog looked at the farmer, then at the animals, but his stubborn nature wouldn't let him back down. However, the farmer was not one to tolerate such behavior. He picked up the dog gently but firmly and placed him outside the barn. "There," the farmer said, closing the barn door. "Now the animals can have what they need, and you can find a more suitable place to rest." The cows and horses thanked the farmer and happily began eating the hay, their hunger finally satisfied. Meanwhile, the dog sitting outside the barn felt a twinge of guilt. As the cool night settled in, he realized how foolish he had been to hoard something he didn't even need. From that day on, the dog learned to be less possessive and more mindful of others' needs. He still guarded the farm with loyalty, but he no longer claimed things that weren't his to use. Moral of the story: don't begrudge others what you cannot use yourself. Selfishness serves no one, not even the one who is selfish.